Happy Wednesday, my friends. Today we have a very special doodle. This one goes out to Caden in Colorado. We are doing a unicorn. So we're going to start with our sketching brush. I like 6B, and we're going to draw one large circle, a smaller circle below it, and an oval to the left. This will make up the structure of our unicorn. From here, we're going to connect those shapes together with some curved lines, and this just kind of fleshes out the face of our unicorn, or if you wanted to leave off the horn, you could do a horse. Then I'm going to add 3 triangles, a long one for the horn and 2 smaller ones for the ears. And then we're going to go in and start adding the hair. So the point of the hair is that 1, it hides the start of that unicorn horn, and 2, it just looks pretty. So I'm going to go in and make a bunch of these swirl shapes. Some of them are just rounded triangles essentially, and some are more like a C shape, like a bubble letter. But we're really just filling out around our unicorn to make the mane look like it's flowing in different directions. And if you need practice with this, they really are similar to some of the petals we've been doing. They're just stretched out and curved a little bit. I like to make that bang piece really dramatic as well. From here, we're going to go in and kind of add in our details and firm up things a little bit. I added a curved line for the eye, a nose, and a mouth, and then I'm going to go in and really break up that unicorn horn into a couple different sections. And so I'm just doing this by adding a curved like swoosh for each section and connecting, and at the top it's a rounded triangle. From here, I'm going to go in with my inking brush, the Studio pen, and outline the lines that I want to keep. And in this step, you can really edit whatever you need to in order to bring your vision to life as accurately as you want. You can notice there are a lot of extra lines that I don't need, and that's the beauty of doing the sketchy layer first and then inking on top of it. So I'm really just going around and defining the hair. I'm going to round out the ears somewhat. I like to make them a little bit pointier at the top and more curved at the bottom. And then I'll add in kind of on the one ear where it pokes out of the hair, and the back ear is going to be on the far side of the mane. And then what I'm doing is I am going to draw in those unicorn horn chunks, is the like grossest phrasing I could come up with, but I find that I don't always have them line up perfectly. I just kind of go with the flow as I'm doing them, however feels natural to me. And then for the eye, what you can do here is I like to make it look like the unicorn is blinking or has like a closed eye with eyelashes. So you can decide whether or not you want to add those eyelashes in, and you can always clean them up with your eraser to make them pointier, or to adjust your curve however you want it to look. You can also just do a regular arch for that eye if you don't want to add the lashes. And then the nose is an oval, and the mouth I just do a little smile line. For the hair, what I've done here is I have it kind of overlap the neck so that we don't have to worry about that awkward cut off, since we're just drawing the head of the unicorn. This way the hair kind of marks the ending of our design without us having to come up with any way to do that without it looking like a decapitated head. Man, I'm on a roll today. I'm also going back and fixing this bang piece because I want it to come up higher so that it looks like the unicorn horn is really poking out of it, instead of just kind of coming out of nowhere. So you can always go back once you turn off your sketch layer, or even before then, and make any edits to your outline that you didn't like from your first attempt, and go from there. I also realized that I didn't add in the little like inner part of the ear, so I'm doing that by just following that shape all the way around. And then here we have our outline, and I'm going to show you some fun tricks for coloring it. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our outline layer to a reference by tapping on it and hitting reference. Then we're going to add another layer and drag it below. And we're going to color drop and fill in the hair with whatever color we choose. And you have to do that for each piece of it, just because that outline will keep them separate. Then we're going to add another layer and turn it into a clipping mask. You can do that the same way as converting to a reference by tapping on the layer and then selecting clipping mask, and then you'll notice the little arrow pointing at the layer below it. What this does is it confines anything you draw on that layer to what's beneath it. So anything that's that teal color is the only area on your new layer that's going to show. I can color outside my lines basically, and it's not going to show them because it cuts off anything that doesn't line up with that blue. And then what I'm doing is just filling in with some scribbles, some fun colors throughout the hair. This does not have to be done neatly because we're going to do a cool little trick in the next step to make it look really fun. What I like to do with my hair is have the brightest color on the tips and the darkest color at the roots, and I like to repeat this on each section of the hair. And you can do this with any colors you want, any order you want, and you definitely don't have to follow the same pattern that I'm doing. From here, we're going to go into our liquefy menu, and we're going to use the twirl options, and you can adjust the size and the level of distortion at the bottom on that menu, but we're just going to play around with mixing the colors together inside that layer for the hair. And so with this, you can have a lot of fun. You can try the other options in the liquefy panel as well, but I didn't want to overwhelm you with too many. I think that the twirl options are really great for the effect that we're going for here, where it kind of looks like the unicorn hair is flowing in the wind all sorts of directions, and they look magical and kind of like ethereal once we're done with it. The larger your brush setting is, or your size setting is for the twirl, the more colors it will swirl at once as well. So keep that in mind. And if you increase the distortion level, it will have them spin more than if you had it on a smaller scale. Next, we're going to add a Gaussian blur. I'm not entirely sure how to say that, but just a slight blur to it so that it smooths things out. And then we're going to go in and color drop the rest of our image the same way on a new layer. I like to do like a pale pastel color for my horses and then really bright colors in the mane, but it's up to you how you would like to do this. And I always do the inside of the ear, some kind of pink or tan. And then we're going to add another layer for the horn, and I like to fill that with a color that's in the mane but isn't like the main color. Then we're going to add another clipping mask by doing another layer and tapping it and selecting clipping mask, and we're going to pick the stipple tool under inking. And this is how we're going to add that fun glitter effect. You can pick any colors you want, and we're going to do a variety of sizes and colors in the unicorn horn pieces to give the appearance that it might be like glittery. I like to mix various sizes, and I like to kind of cluster them together towards the top and leave some space towards the bottom so it looks like they could be almost like curved a little bit. And then you can mix in all the colors that are in the mane. You can add some contrasting colors, some yellows, some purples, greens, whatever you like. I just end with adding a little bit of white and then really making it pop with the amount that I've put in there. You can also change the opacity if you'd like to. I don't usually mess with that though. And then from here, after I was finished with the horn, I realized I didn't totally love the color of it being so much darker. So I went in and I adjusted that slightly using the hue and contrast sliders under the options. This is why working on different layers is great, because if you want to edit a certain element, you can do that. And then the last thing that we did for this unicorn is going in to add our highlighting details. I went back to my studio pen brush under inking, and then I'm just adding some cute little like swashes. It took me a few tries to get the thickness right, but we've done this in the other doodles that we've done recently as well. And then I'm going to add them to the ears, the hair, and the horn. And then I can call it a day and my unicorn design is finished. If you try this out, I would absolutely love for you to share your pictures in our group, Sam's little group. And for anyone watching this that isn't a part of our group, you can join and get free access to all of these workbook printouts. And you can learn to draw with us every week. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see your unicorn designs.